Michael took charge, of course, only on Thursday. So early encouraging signs, as Michael says, for Graham Potter. Let's go back to our feature game, which was at the City Ground, of course. Hard-fought 1-1 draw between Nottingham Forest and the league leaders, Liverpool. Liverpool equalising thanks to their super sub, Diogo Jota, who joins us now. 22 seconds, Diogo, having come off the bench. What an impact.
Hi, yeah, you cannot ask for any better, of course. That's what I wanted to do, and it was one of those occasions. It's hard to repeat, but I was happy for that moment, of course.
And set up by Simicast, who of course came on at the same time as yourself. I mean, were you exchanging messages as you came on, thinking we can make a difference?
Yeah, actually, I said that because we have the corner, and the manager said, "Yeah, go on," and I just said, "Yeah, you go on, cross, and I score." And it's one of those situations it happened, and I think we celebrate after because it's not every day.
Yeah, mate, can you pick my lottery numbers for me, if you don't mind?
Yeah, but like I said, in the end of the game, we are not happy because I think even I myself had a couple more occasions and we wanted to win. Was going to be important, and yeah, we're not happy with this point.
Diogo, it's Michael Owen. Well played today, great impact. I was just wondering, you know, as somebody as myself that wasn't so tall, you score so many goals with your head. Just give us a little indication of why you think that is. Is it your timing? Is it your bravery? Or why do you score so many headers?
It's hard to tell. I think maybe the defenders watch me and they think, this guy will not do anything, and then I can surprise them. I don't know. I think it's a bit of timing for sure, being on the right place at the right time, like I think you know as well.
Yeah, you say you're disappointed in the point. I mean, tell us more about that. What was it that disappoints you more?
I think the chances we got. Obviously, it was a hard game to come here. First half was poor, I think, but in the second half, especially after the 1-1, we had so much chances. Credit to their goalkeeper as well. I think he did 2 or 3 very good saves. But yeah, we need to score them because obviously we want to fight for the title, and we lost 2 points.
Are you surprised with how well Forest are doing under a manager? Let's not forget, who brought you to England.
Yeah, I know them very well. Obviously, they are doing a very good job. I think not a surprise, but yeah, no one is expecting them to be so good, but they are good. They defend well in their own special manner, and they are a very threat in the counters, set pieces, physical team. I think they are built for the Premier League, and they are doing very well, and I know they are able to.
Yeah, and in terms of recent results, I suppose you'll agree there's been a fair few draws in there. Does that come with some frustration?
Yeah, of course. We lost too many points in the last few games. We need to earn momentum back. There is only one way to do that, by winning games, and we have another chance on Saturday.
Yeah, Brentford next. It's another tough test.
Yeah, very. If you want to have a taste of Premier League, Nottingham away and Brentford away in the same week, it's a proper challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Diogo, it may not be the 3 points you're after, but it was a hard-fought point in the end, and well done on the equaliser. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Diogo Jota.
From the Forest side of things, Nathan says an incredible effort. A soft goal to concede, infuriating, but deserved the point. How far this team have come. Alistair says, I'll take that, a point closer to Champions League. And for Liverpool fans, Marcus says a much better second half. Really should have won, but their keeper had the game of his life. That's exactly what we've been saying. And Ian says a point away from home to a title challenger is a positive, especially after that first half. Still a long way to go, but we're in a good position. So that's the thoughts of the Liverpool fans. What about the Liverpool manager, Arne Slot? He's been talking to Emma Dodds.
Well, Arne, let's start with your substitutions. Have you had a bigger impact? 22 seconds before they linked to give you the equaliser.
Yeah, you need to be a little bit lucky with that because we took Ibu out, who's normally a big threat in set pieces. But we all know Jot can score a goal. Costas has a good set piece. So yeah, we brought them in to score a goal during the game or in the end of the game, but they immediately did it after 20 seconds.
And you spoke pre-match about the Forest defence. I mean, it could have been more, couldn't it, had it not been for their goalkeeper and some of the saves?
Yeah, the goalkeeper, but definitely also the defenders, because I think the goalkeeper had to make a few incredible saves, but their defenders also prevented some shots on target because they blocked almost every shot. I couldn't have asked for more. Second half performance was outstanding. There are not many teams that can create so many chances against a team that's defensively so strong. And unfortunately, we couldn't score the second.
That's the thing, isn't it? They're quite happy for you to have the ball. How does that affect the dynamics and obviously the way you then have to go and try and break them down?
It's so difficult. I said it after the United game. Every time you have the ball, you have to go past 11 players because the other team, when the goalkeeper has, they kick it long. So that's also their strength. So first you have to defend it, which is difficult enough because Wood and all these fast wingers. So first you have to win the second ball, and if you win the second ball, they just go back in a low block with 11 players around the 18-yard box, and then with such a good defenders and a good goalkeeper, it's so hard for every team to create here. That's why I was so happy with our second half performance, because it was just one chance after another if we played, because there was also a lot of moments where it took a while before the restart was there.
I was going to say, there seemed to be a lot of frustration on the sidelines. What was the main cause of that, do you feel?
Us being 1-0 down or being 1-1, that's always the main reason to be frustrated. And then you want as much playing time as you can, but the team that's happy with the current result wants as less playing time as they possibly can. So there were, for example, a moment where they went to the floor, there was not a head injury, and the referee blows his whistle, and there's not even treatment. Those are moments you try to say, okay, this is maybe what they want, and let's try to prevent that. But yeah, that's not why we had a draw. I think Nottingham Forest can look back at a very good game, defended really well, and we can look back at a very good second half.
And that's the thing, as we head into the Premier League in the new year. I mean, are you satisfied with where your team are? Do you feel that they're better now than they were the last time you played Nottingham Forest?
Well, we were definitely better than the last time we played Forest. That wasn't that difficult though. Yeah. We didn't create much chances back then. We created a lot today. So second half of the season is always more difficult. You've already faced the team. They know us better. They know our playing style even better. Some teams even bring players in during the winter break or bring a new manager in. So the second half, and they have to fight for every point. So here at Forest, they want to stay up where they are. And next week, maybe you can face a team that's in a relegation battle. So to win in the second half of the season is always harder than in the first. But if we can continue bringing these performances in like we did the second half, then we will not always be that unlucky that it ends with a draw.
Thank you for talking to us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
They were so much better in that second half. I wonder how valuable they'll see this point now, Rio, because obviously Nottingham Forest beat them at Anfield. They've played here at the City Ground, where Forest are in such good form at home at the moment, and they've come away with a point after what was a really uneventful first half from Liverpool. Will they see this as a good point now?
I think maybe now he won't, because the emotions are high and the blood's still boiling. I was next to their dugout throughout that game, and the second half, very frustrated with some of the decisions that were being made by the referee. You could tell that he was gesturing, very animated, and you can sense that there. But I think when the dust settles, they'll look at this as a decent point. The form that they've come into this compared to Nottingham Forest, I think coming here and getting a point in that kind of, when you frame it like that, I think they'll go, you know what, we'll take that and we'll move on.
Yeah, when you've created a gap like they have, I think a point, against a side that are second in the league now, is a good point. You're away from home. Manchester City, Chelsea, they've both dropped points this evening, haven't they? And as the way the league is at the moment, if they continue in that vein, just doing exactly what the rest of the teams around them are doing, then they'll be title winners. So, of course, Nottingham Forest have been fantastic this season. So to come away from home, and especially going a goal down and come away for a point, they'll probably be happy with them. But you have to say it would have been 3 if it wasn't for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and you've got to consider the atmosphere here. This is a wonderful atmosphere here that they create. The fans are crazy. They get behind their team. They're onto the ref. They're onto every decision that's getting made. So you're playing the crowd and the game. So it's really, really difficult, these kind of situations.
You guys have both mentioned it already. The Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, Matt Sells, the unbelievable saves he pulled off. And Arne Slot mentioned it in the interview as well. But let's hear from him now on what was a chaotic end to the game for him. Defensively, we've spoken a lot about this Forest team, Rio, at how good they've been. Talked about their defensive partnership at the back with the 2 centre-halves and just how strong they've been this season. Has he gone under the radar a little bit?
Yeah, maybe, I think, but there's always kind of one or two that stand out and get the kind of plaudits. But I think within his dressing room, you can tell that they're fully appreciative and they understand how good he is. I think Chris Wood spoke glowingly about him, said he's probably been the best goalkeeper in the league this year. So I don't think there's any doubt within that Nottingham Forest change room. And I think to those players, that's the most important place where they want to get the plaudits from and the respect.
Let's take a look at some of these saves that he made, because Liverpool were pushing so much, weren't they, Crouchy?
Yeah, they were. I mean, second half it was chalk and cheese really. They were a little bit sloppy, Liverpool, in the first half, but created far more. For Jota, when he came on, he's a goal scorer. You know, he just in and around the box. I mean, it's a great little chop inside, and he does everything right really. But Sells comes out, spreads himself, makes the angle tight for him to finish. And again, I think it was unbelievable save again.
He looks really quick across the ground, doesn't he? Like that save there, he comes out off his line and he's just like quick, he smothers things and he shuts down the angles. Here again, moves his feet and tips it over and round the post. It's difficult, these situations, when there's lots of bodies in front and he reacts so quickly.
This is the block off the line from Ola Aina. I mean, we were screaming watching that, weren't we?
Yeah, right, unreal. I mean, it felt like it was a matter of time, really. But I think it's the character and the team spirit, really, that kept Nottingham Forest in it, and obviously the quality with the goalkeeper. And this was the best of the day, I think. Just because if you look here, it takes a slight deflection, and he sees it late, so it's full stretch on the left hand. And, unbelievable save, world class.
Absolutely brilliant. What a performance from him. Certainly earned his side a point tonight. Let's see what his manager thought of the team's performance. Here's Nuno Espirito Santo with Emma.
You know, that game had a lot of build-up. Did it deliver? How do you reflect on it all?
It was a good game. I thought it was entertaining. The first half, I think we were organised. We didn't allow too many situations. And the second half was like a ping pong, no? And then is when Liverpool really becomes stronger, when they have space and they can accelerate and with the speed and talent that they have. That was a dangerous moment. But very proud of the team, the way they work, the way they run, especially when up and down, the sprint to recover, the sprint to desire to attack was good.
What about your goal then for Chris Wood? His first goal against Liverpool, but it really epitomised Nottingham Forest, didn't it? That 2 passes and he was in and he took it brilliantly.
Yeah, it was a beautiful finish. I think it was a pass from Anthony that isolated him and was clinical, was good.
Mm-hmm. And then what about the equaliser then? Was it frustrating the manner in which you conceded with the substitutions for Liverpool?
Yeah, and it was the moment that Liverpool made the changes. We were about to make the change and on a corner. But credit for Liverpool, they had a lot of chances also.
And a word on your goalkeeper. He had nothing to do really for about 60 minutes, and then he produced some excellent saves to keep the point for you.
He's in a good moment. He's full of confidence and he's keeping us on the game. We are very thankful.
Is it a sign of the times, the progress that's been made here, that the level of feel-good factor and expectation that is around the stadium now from the fans?
It's amazing. I think today the help that the fans give to us, we didn't have the ball for so much time, and they keep supporting us, realizing that our tough opponent was so good, and the support in the end, the last 7 minutes, we had the feeling that they were giving an extra run to our players.
Mm-hmm. And to move up to second now in the Premier League table, do you take pride in that? You know, I know you wanted 3 points today, but you must be hugely satisfied with the season so far.
Of course, especially because of the way the players work. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud. I cannot repeat myself over and again because this is what I'm feeling. And we keep going. It's about enjoying the moment, competing very well. And you got a tough one on the next one.
Congratulations.
Cheers, nice to see you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
I love seeing that big beaming smile on Nuno's face. He's so proud of his team, and so he should be, because they really had to sustain so much pressure from Liverpool in that second half. An entertaining game. He enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. And the Forest fans are enjoying this season, aren't they, Rio? Now they are where they are in the table, second. What would be disappointing for them? Would it be disappointing if they didn't get Champions League football now they're at this point?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I think that them players now, I think they're sitting there thinking, listen, we've gone toe-to-toe with a team at the top of the league who've kind of blown most teams away this year, and we give a good account of ourselves. And not only that, what I liked about them is they don't just sit there and say, right, we're just going to roll with the punches and we're going to sit back and just soak up pressure and hope to get through it like you see some teams against the bigger teams. They actually say, come on, but also we're going to be a threat as well, and we're going to pose a threat to you, and you're going to have to worry about us at times. And Liverpool, there's no doubts in my mind that at times Liverpool were worried, and they were seeing at moments that the two wingers are so quick. Morgan gives White industrious in there as well and creative, and then you see the first chance comes, he dispatches it. Wood. So they're a team that look really exciting, and these fans can really kind of get behind a team that they go, do you know what? I love that. I'll keep coming, and I want to watch that consistently.
Back in the Champions League next season for this club. Imagine that.
Yeah, no, it'd be unbelievable. No one would have called it at the start of the season. The way they've gone about their business, they've been absolutely first class. There's so much to admire about them. I think defensively they look so solid. But like Rio says, they've got a real threat on the counter attack. Certainly with the 4 forwards they've got. And I think I always like to say as well, I think the 2 midfielders, Anderson and Yates, did a great job. Probably 2 unsung heroes really in this team.
There's so many players that we could pick out, but Rio, you were really impressed with Murillo. He was Macca's man of the match as well.
Yeah, he was everywhere. It was an all-action performance. He was everywhere. He threw his body on the line. He's someone who... Some players just get attracted to the ball and they make it their thing that they're going to just go out and just attack everything. At the moment, he's one of those. And when it comes off, it looks absolutely wonderful. It looks brilliant. And listen, he can play as well, by the way. He's got a wonderful left foot. He's got a good way to pass. Here, I thought his patience was the thing that stood out for me. As much as he likes to go and attack everything, there he was patient and got his rewards. And I think he's got the athleticism. He's got the work ethic, the desire. The words are kind of...
Yeah.
I can't speak English.
It's cold, isn't it?
It's cold and it's late and it's long.
But what I would say is he's got that fight, and he's one of those players that kind of infuses the whole stadium at times.
I love the fact that he tried that shot from the halfway line and then said sorry straight away and ran straight back to the centre half. No, I liked everything about his performance. I like a centre half that wants to go and win it at all times. I think at times he may get caught out with that, but I think he seems to be a quick learner, and I think he's building a huge reputation here.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Right, so this wasn't the only game that was happening tonight.
Reflection, really, from Liverpool's head coach, Michael.
Yeah, always an honest, fair reflection. He doesn't mind criticising his team, rules the game accurately, I think. What you see is what you hear from him. So I really like him. Obviously he's done a brilliant job since he's come in, but I like the way he speaks to people, speaks to the fans. I love his demeanour. I like his team, the way he plays. He's obviously doing a super job, and so is his team, so is his staff, behind the scenes, because virtually every single player in that squad is fit at the moment, and that is so difficult at this stage of the season.
3 wins in 7 in the Premier League. That includes 4 draws, so they haven't lost once in that sequence. Are they losing points here to keep others interested? Should they be furthermore in front? Could they be furthermore in front at the top of the table right now?
Well, yeah, you could turn around and say they could be furthermore in front, but you also got to respect all the other teams they're coming up against. I think Liverpool may not have played as well as they would like to in those games, but they haven't lost those games either, and they've come against a team that may have had a little bit of luck, may have defended in a very low block, and didn't really try to hit them on a counter either. So I think that there's a bit of both in terms of that. If I was Liverpool, just like him, I would be delighted with our position, especially the amount of games they've already played. They're top in the Champions League, top in the Premier League, still in a semi-final. Yeah. And I don't think you can be upset with that.
No, and they're playing well. They played well there. The first half, it was a bit bitty. And
it was a bit disjointed from them.
It was, but that second half, when the stats there were crawling along the bottom of the screen before, a few minutes ago, I couldn't believe it. I did think that Liverpool played well, but they, based on the stats, the shots and the possession and the running stats, and as I say, they looked stronger and they covered more ground. If you put it this way, if you didn't watch the game, you looked at the stats, you would have thought, Liverpool won that game then, obviously if you didn't see the scoreline. So it was a very good performance. Going away to the team in third in the Premier League, to their stadium, their tails are up, they beat you once this season, to put in a performance like that and to, as I say, to dominate virtually every area was a good performance. So even though, yes, the results may be a little bit, not as they would want at the moment, they're playing well still, and results will come. If you play well, then results will come eventually.
I mentioned a short while ago how Diego Jota's introduction made them much more proactive or helped them in the final third. Did the Luis Diaz experiment down the middle work in that first half for you, Sean?
I saw a few things that said it didn't, but then at the same time, I think that is down to the way Forest played. I don't think Liverpool had as much time on the ball in the first half as they did in the second half. The later the game went on, the more tighter they got, the more space there was. And when Jota comes into that situation, he's always bright upstairs. He's always looking at those little clever runs or trying to get the ball on the half term. And I felt Liverpool exploited that when they had the chance to. And maybe in the first half, if it was Jota may have been in the same situation as Diaz, because the space that he was finding in the second half wasn't available. And like you said, the game was very bitty.
Yeah.
And Forest made it that way, and that played into their hands, I thought, in the first half.
Let me assure you from experience, it's a free punch coming off the bench.
Yeah.
It's much more difficult being a starter. Everybody's got energy. The game
you've
is
had much experience
tighter.
of that.
No, well, at the end of my career. But the game is tighter in the first half. As I say, a lot more energy. Everybody's closing down. Lot fewer mistakes. Coming on when the game is stretched, it gets like a basketball game. It's so much easier. It's a free punch coming on as a centre forward at the end of a game. So as much as Diogo Jota did very, very well, I certainly wouldn't be condemning Luis Diaz.
But we have to, and you're right, Sean, to give credit to Forest. I mean, they clearly went toe-to-toe with Liverpool. It's 4 points against them now across the 2 games. Let's have a look at the way that they took the lead. It was the turnover in midfield, and it was 2 quick passes. And next thing you know, Chris Wood is through.
Yeah, and this is what they set up for early, and this is what we was talking about, being on the front foot, playing with the 2 wingers early doors. But he slams this through that gap, and that gives Elanga that time to take that first touch and play that great ball in. But the finish from Wood, he's still got a lot to do from that angle against Alisson, who is, for me, an amazing goalkeeper, and the quality on it, Mo.
Yeah, it was a good goal from Forest's point of view. They punish Liverpool for their mistakes, but we've just seen there 3 challenges, and we're about to see a 4th challenge that Liverpool lose on the spin. That's perfect back 4, but it's Gravenberch that's in the back 4, and Konate's about to head the ball. Now, Gravenberch has got to stay there until the danger is over. He can see Wood. He can see that Virgil van Dijk has got Elanga on his shoulder, and don't know why he drifts into central midfield. Well, I do know, because that's his position, but he simply can't. He's a defensive midfielder. He should be able to smell danger. He vacates his area that Konate's already vacated, and then Virgil van Dijk is just, it's impossible. I don't know what he can do. He had his eye on one, then the other, and he puts him in a really difficult position. Great finish, great goal. But you can see he's not happy, and rightly so. Gravenberch there's got to take more responsibility. He's there to plug holes. He's there as the insurance policy. So when Konate moved into midfield, he had to stay there, as I say, until the danger is over. But this guy, I mean, wow, his numbers are incredible. And you look at his expected goals there. I mean, it just shows you how efficient he is. To score 13 goals from an expected 7.4 is quite impressive, or very, very impressive, I should say.
We've got to remind ourselves, he took that goal today with his weaker foot. Not that you could tell with a cleanness, or the way he took the strike.
Yeah, he did, and I was trying to think back just then. I don't think he had another chance in the game, did he? I think that was the first one and the last one. And I think when you're a team like Forest, the way you play, you don't create that many clear-cut chances. But he's very, very clinical at the minute.
Forest are one of the stories of this Premier League season, and while that result ends their winning run, does it keep their momentum going?
I personally don't think that game will affect their mentality. I think you got to put your hand up and say they're coming against possibly the best team in Europe right now.
Yeah.
And for a spell in the game, they kept all their stars very, very quiet. That takes a lot to do. That anywhere those players go, they light it up, they score a goal, they create a lot of chances in that first half and second half, and Forest managed to keep them relatively quiet. So I think that's a massive step forward for them.
Yeah, they are becoming the neutrals team of choice right now, aren't they? In trying to ruffle the feathers of some of the established sides at the top end of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of neutrals out there that tend to like the underdogs. Yeah. And Nottingham Forest are certainly the underdogs this season. They're underdogs going into that game today. And as I say, Liverpool on balance probably deserve the win, but I don't think many people can, say they didn't deserve, let's say, to squeeze a point out of it. For all their effort, for their endeavour, their work rate, nobody's begrudging them that extra point.
You said at the top of the programme, should Forest come away with a win, they need to be taken seriously in terms of the title race. Is that still the case, having taken a point today?
No, they can't beat Liverpool. Now, Liverpool are 6 points ahead of them, better goal difference and a game in hand. They can't beat Liverpool. They're not good enough to beat Liverpool, but they are a very good team. And if they continue in this form, continue to play like that. Listen, we can't think they're going to mirror that first half of the season with in the second half of the season. You can't expect it. But even if they just fall a little bit below it, they could be challenging in the top 4, if they could nick 4th place or something like that, it'd be an incredible season for them. So, no, they needed to win today to have any fighting chance of being considered to, winning the league. They're just they're not good enough to beat Liverpool over a period of time. I think Arsenal are the only team that could challenge Liverpool.
But they have got a stubbornness about them, haven't they? They can have a huge say as to who do go on to win it in May.
It's that resilience, that throw yourself in front of the ball factor, which they did all game. They blocked loads of shots. You saw Aina on the line. I think he blocked 1 or 2. And when you have that solid defensive unit, it's so much to build from in respects of attacking. You have that certain belief and comfortability where you feel like you don't have to risk the chances all the time. And the running they've got coming up, like, you expect them to pick up points. I would say Fulham and Newcastle may be the trickiest one. Brighton give you a lot of chances. And if they defend the way they defended today, it may be hard for Brighton to even break them down.
Yeah. The only thing is the spread of goals, and Chris Wood continues to enhance his reputation. He's moved on to 13. The next highest goal scorer at Forest, they've got no more than 4. Could that be a bit of a problem if it continues like that?
Well, it's not been a problem so far.
No, but to be reliant on an individual in that way.
Yeah. Although A1E's just come back, he scored a goal in his return game against Wolves the other day. Obviously, he got on for a minute today, but he was a good source of goals before he got injured. So they are quite quite reliant on Chris Wood. But I still think they've got a lot of players that can score goals. And listen, if you're going to sit deep, if you're going to not have the ball too much, then inevitably you're not going to be scoring goals isn't going to be the absolute key to your game. I think not conceding is probably more of a reason why they're picking up points rather than outscoring teams. So, yeah, they'd like more goals, of course, but you can't wish for everything.
No, OK.
Right, let's have a word with Merce about that top-of-the-table clash that took place at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest were winning through Chris Wood, but Diogo Jota off the bench to equalise for Liverpool. And not for the first time this season, Merce. Arne Slot changing things around in the second half and getting his rewards.
Yeah, and it's nice to have that. You can bring on someone of Jota's quality who can come on and score goals, and he hits the ground running when he comes on. Doesn't take too long to warm up. But Liverpool were very good second half. First half, they were really poor. Really poor. Forest, high energy. Obviously, that energy was going to sliver away in the end. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't keep on working the way they working. But, yeah, I thought Forest give a good account of themselves. Liverpool be kicking themselves. Second half, should have gone on and won the game. But now, personally, I think, and there's no disrespect to Forest, who I expect to beat Southampton on Sunday, I see it as a shootout between Arsenal and Liverpool. I think Arsenal are the only ones who can catch Liverpool now.
So Forest had to win that for you tonight?
I think so. I just watched Forest there, They scored and they got in front, but they weren't in the same... I don't want to be disrespectful. They weren't in the same class as Liverpool. They worked hard, but they huffed and puffed. They were, kicking the ball away at times. It was a good result for them. If they get in the top 4, they pulled up trees. Absolute pulled up trees, because they have to work like that every single week to get a result. Probably not this weekend against Southampton, but they probably... I take that back. They probably will, because it's after the Lord Mayor show. People are going to turn up and think, well, we're going to slaughter Southampton. Southampton got nothing to play for now. They can go out and they're a free spirit. They can just go out and enjoy themselves. So Forest will be fighting for top 4. Liverpool will only be looking at Arsenal now, and that'll be it. I don't see anybody else that can catch, and that's going to be hard without Saka.
Forest taking 4 points off Liverpool this season. And we talked about the goalkeeper and the defenders before the game. They're 2 centre-backs, Forest, tonight. 30 clearances between them.
Yeah.
The defensive effort to earn a point in that second.
Murillo was out on his feet. He was out on his feet, absolutely out on his feet, absolutely outstanding. The 2 centre-halves do what it says on the tin. They defend. They get their bodies in the way, and they're out-and-out defenders. And the goalkeeper was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Made really good saves. You know what? Williams was good. Williams had Salah. Salah didn't do much tonight again. You know, had a couple of shots that were wild. But yeah, Forest done very well. They worked their socks off. I mean, they got 41 points. It's absolutely phenomenal. They're nearly on 2 points a game. I mean, over 21 games in a Premier League season where, you know, anybody beats anybody. Especially, no disrespect, but like a Forest. Do you know what I mean? Even if they go to, when they've been to Leicester away, you know, they went and beat them easily. But that was still another heads or tails sort of football match. So that's what they've been up against this season. Phenomenal, yeah. But I think if they can get in the top 4, I think they've brought up trees. But I think now the only team, if Arsenal can win tomorrow, they go 4 points behind. Liverpool got to go to Brentford. Arsenal beat Villa. When you've got midweek games, this changes very quickly. If Arsenal can go back-to-back and Liverpool go and draw or get beat at Brentford, and then look how quickly that'll change. That'll be 46-48. Don't get me wrong, it could end up 50-40 by the end of the week. Who knows? But that's how quickly this can change, and they'll be kicking themselves, Liverpool.